stringing it, your bow is finished. Now I'm gonna wait to let the epoxy harden for a little bit longer, so in the meantime I'm gonna teach you how to make the arrow. The only supplies that you need to make an arrow are a wooden dowel rod, a steel tube, a 9-inch nail, and some duct tape. Now I already cut the tip off of this nail to make an arrowhead a little while ago, but I'll teach you how to get multiple arrowheads out of one nail. So first I'm gonna take my angle grinder and cut off a little piece of the nail. Now if you don't have an angle grinder, you can use a hacksaw, but if you don't have an angle grinder or a bench grinder, you're just gonna have to get another nail that has a pointy tip. So I've got 1 inch of the nail right here, and then you're gonna wanna cut off about 1.5 inches from the steel pipe. Now we're going to very slightly bevel the edges of the piece of the nail that we cut out by putting it into a drill. And then if you don't have an angle grinder, like I said before, you can use a piece of sandpaper, really rough grit sandpaper, to do this part, but I have an angle grinder, so I'm gonna use it. And then we're also going to bevel the edge of the steel pipe in the same way. So the nail is too big to fit inside the pipe, so I'm going to put it back in the drill and keep on working on it with the grinder until it can fit really snugly. So now we take the nail, insert it into the pipe however far it will go. If it goes way too deep in, like if it slides just all the way through, then you ground it down a little bit too much. It should go about halfway in, and then you should have to put it in the vise and squish it to make it go the rest of the way. So we've got it looking like this. Now we just put this whole thing back into the drill, work on it with the grinder again until this is to a point. And if you want to smooth it out, then go ahead and use some sandpaper on it. And as you can see, if you do this right, you can't even see the separation between the nail and the pipe. I mean, you can see it a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit, but the important part is that there's barely any resistance. There's hardly any friction caused by the little gap between the nail and the pipe. So if you can get it to this, that's ideal. So now I'm going to clean up the back end of the pipe and bevel the edges too, and then we'll attach it to the dowel rod. So I'm just going to use this super glue to attach the arrowhead to the arrow, and if it ever pops off when I pull it out of a target, then I guess I'll use the epoxy on it, but I don't see this being a problem. Fletchings are just the same as all the other ones. You put a piece of duct tape laying sticky side up, you put the dowel rod on top of it, then you put another piece of duct tape on top of that, then use some scissors to shape them up. Trim them into a shape like this where there's a little bit of duct tape coming off here, and then what you're going to do is get a long, thin strip of duct tape and wrap it around there and there. Then you can use a thin file or a hacksaw to put a notch in the back of the arrow, but I'm just going to use my angle grinder. And that's about it for the arrow. And here's the final step, stringing the bow. We take the paracord that we had in the beginning of the video, we tie it in a knot around that thing that we made to put the string around. Then you just run it to the other end, loop it around this thing, run it back to this side, loop it around here, then run it back to the end. And that is how you measure how much of the paracord you're gonna need. Just cut it off about 5 inches below the total length of it. Oops, just flipped you off. So this is how you tie the loop in the paracord that you need to attach the paracord to the bolts. Now, don't be intimidated. This is probably one of the most difficult things that I'll ever teach you how to do. It took me the better part of 6 months to figure out how to do this, but with practice you'll be able to get it. So you bend the paracord over on itself like that, and then you tie that in a knot. And if you need to see that again, just replay the video. So now that you have the loops on both ends of your paracord, you run the paracord from this bolt to the other side, under this wheel. It comes out from over the wheel. It goes over here, goes over the wheel, comes out from under, runs to the other side, and then you put the loop around that bolt. And the fact that when we were measuring it, you didn't put the paracord around the wheel makes it so that once you do put it around the wheel, then there will be a lot of tension on it. And there you go, that's all there really is to it, really. I'm not really sure 100% about the draw weight, but what I do know is that I absolutely love the way it feels when you draw it back. The draw weight's not too light, it's not too heavy, and it feels so freaking smooth. Like, I can't even really describe it, but it just feels awesome when you draw it back. I'm really excited to test this thing out. It's already dark outside, so I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to test it, but I'm gonna try to get that finished as soon as possible. But just so you guys don't feel like you held in a sneeze, I'll just shoot it at this little piece of styrofoam right here, so just gotta go get a cameraman. And Silas is gonna give it a try now. Can't even pull it. You have to use 2 fingers. You don't just pinch the arrow. You take 2 fingers and put it on both sides of the arrow and draw it back. Nice. All right, so super excited for tomorrow. I'll get on that weapon demonstration as soon as I possibly can. But I wanted to talk to you guys about something. For a long time, people have been suggesting that I make some kind of a donation page for myself, but I've been really apprehensive because honestly I've been afraid that all that stupid "oh, he's all about money now" crap would start coming up, and it might, but I've kind of done a lot of growing up recently, and I've come to the realization that there is absolutely no way to make everybody happy. Like, you can't do it. And it's so evident. Like, you can, those like public prank videos, there's this one that is like so awesome, like those feel-good videos. There's this one where these guys will be like walking down the street, and there's like homeless people on the side of the street just like begging for coins, and the guy turns and like reaches into his pocket, and this person thinks they're about to get like a dime, and they're like so happy, and they're like crying and stuff, and he like pulls out like handfuls of quarters and just like dumps them on this guy, and he's like freaking out, and then he like takes off his hat and shakes out dollar bills all over him, and he like empties out his shirt, and there's just like quarters and like dollars and stuff just pouring all over this guy. He's like crying and like, you know, thanking God for all these quarters, and you're just like, that is so awesome. Like, there's no way anybody could complain about that. And then lo and behold, this lady runs out, and she's just like, that is so rude. Look at all that money on the ground. Now he has to pick all that up, and like, and you're just like, okay. It just makes you go, I'm gonna do what I have to do. Forget the haters. You can call me a sellout. And by the way, if you call me a sellout, clearly you don't even know what a sellout is. But here in real life, as much as I wish I could, I can't go to the hardware store or to the scrapyard and grab whatever I want and then pay them in the gold doubloons that I pull out of my pet unicorn's butt. I wish I could, but that's not how that works. I wish I could pay for everything with the love that I have for my subscribers, with my desire to pursue my passion as a professional YouTuber, but I can't. So yeah, I set up a Patreon account, and this is not, I by no means am saying that you guys have to, you know, donate to me at all. This is 100% optional. I will never charge for my videos. But, you know, I'm human and I need help. So if you guys just want to check it out, I'll probably put a link in the description. Even if you don't donate yourself, it would help me so much if you could just like share it with as many people as you can. Just like tell them about me, but if you could donate, that would help me even more. So yeah, that's about all I got. So thank you guys so much for watching all the way till the end. You guys are the best. I'll talk to you later. Bye.